Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco, Dish Out on the Movies. And today we are reviewing the last episode of Fallout, Season 2. And the title of it is The Strip. But it should be called mini puzzles that have been thrown together in a bucket and dropped out on the floor, and trying to put all the pieces together in each puzzle, although they don't complete the puzzles. They can only get them partly done. So,
Safi, you need some assistance. Okay, so we're reviewing the finale, and it's funny because before this video started, we talked for like an hour about the finale, and basically the entire conversation was Safi asked me, okay, so, well, first this happened. What did that mean, Marco? And then she went to the next story, and she did that for the entire story. That's how you can tell that the show's really good, right? You know, that you have all those questions, and it just feels like there's so many different stories that, you know, your head could explode. I mean, that's kind of a good point, because maybe the showrunners are like Kyle's character, and they're trying to make people's heads explode. You know, like with the remote control thing. Like, it's like that, but with the audience. You know, like, okay, here's story number 20, okay? Story number 30. 40 stories. Oh my god, we got 40 stories. We got 80 different characters. Oh my god, let's go to 100. Oh! Boom! Then the audience, just Safi's head just exploded. Now she's got to get a drink of water. See, guys? It worked in real time. I will say, though, obviously this episode was trash. But, fortunately, this is the best episode of the season.
why?
This is the best episode of Season 2 because at the end of the episode, you know that you won't have to watch any more for another year. Right, Safi?
Okay, well, I'm thinking maybe we should, after we review it, maybe we should go through it and see if we can figure out how many stories there are.
Ugh. That's tough because do you count stories that concluded? Oh, it looks like Safi's just not going to be able to do anything.
Well, that's the thing. There is no story that concluded, right? Unless you talk about the father, but that wasn't like, really concluded.
No, like side stories. Like, what about that Xander guy? The Brotherhood of Steel, the Kumail guy coming in, and then he gets killed. That was a side story, I guess you could say.
But that happened episodes ago.
Yeah, but you're just saying for this episode, not the whole season, because what I like to do at the end of a season is that I zoom out and I go, okay, we've been fixating on episodes and all these specifics. Let's zoom out and see how the show is from afar and look at the big picture and then review the season at the end.
Okay, we can talk about the current stories, which means everything that was in this episode, but there is still the matter of back at the vault, although they did show that. They only showed a glimpse of the other people banging on the lady's door. They didn't show anything else about them.
They didn't show the other vault either.
So that there's still that, and that is ongoing.
Or the dessert club.
Yeah. Well, I think they're a part of that group. Everybody was
mad. No, they're
mad.
not. That's a different vault, Safi.
Oh, that's right. It's the woman, the Cecily Tyson. That's what I'm saying. So those are ongoing stories, and they didn't really cover them.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing I can think of in terms of, quote, ongoing stories.
My favorite part of this episode, My favorite part was the post-credit scene because, this episode was so disorienting. It was like getting on a merry-go-round and just, going round and round and round.
It was.
Just all these different stories. It was so frustrating and shitty and horrible. I watched a Mentalist episode later in the day, and that was better because there's only 2 stories going on there. Oh, actually, no, 3 stories, but one of them was kind of small. But after all those stories, after that entire hour of just shit, just nonstop shit happening, the ending credits came, and I knew there's a post-credits scene. And then the post-credits scene comes up, and what do you know? It's another story. So after the whole show's over, they're like, oh wait, there's more. Here's another story. Here you go. Just throw it right at you, like this story that they forgot about for like 4 or 5 episodes. It's like, oh yeah, there's this other story going on too. Here's another one. Here's another one.
Okay, well, we'll get to that, I guess.
What a horrible experience, though, Safi.
I guess we'll just start at the beginning.
I want a refund.
Okay, the first thing they show is Macaulay Culkin. Now, they showed him already once, I think. Once and maybe a little tiny bit twice. But this
just once.
Once, okay.
Just one episode. That's it.
And he becomes the leader of the Legion.
Yeah.
And Marco understood a lot more about it than I did, but they did something that was... Now, listen, remember, Marco is a filmmaker.
Yeah.
And although he's a beginning filmmaker, he's been doing it long enough to know when... It's like reading about 1,000 books and knowing how a story should be set up.
Yeah.
And so, in terms of effects, Macaulay Culkin puts a scroll, supposedly puts a scroll in his mouth, to destroy it so nobody else knows he ate it?
Yeah, and I want to go through that because right off the bat, this episode's trash because it starts off, and remember how earlier in the season they're like, oh my god, nobody can grab the scroll, nobody can get to Caesar's body because if you try to go at it, the other Legion side will kill you. They'll attack you. Oh, well, guess what, guys? Because they got to fight each other for some reason, conveniently earlier in the season, oh, you could just easily grab Caesar's body now. No problem at all. And then if that's not bad enough, they showed also, I don't know if Safi saw this, they showed that The Rock, the Wish.com version of The Rock, the Caesar, he got killed. They showed his body with an arrow in it, like, really quickly.
Oh, yeah.
But he drags Caesar, Macaulay drags Caesar into a tent, and then he gets the scroll, and the scroll says, nobody else can be Caesar, only I am Caesar, and now the Legion should die. I thought, to be honest, that was a huge slap in the face to the game, slap in the face to the characters, totally unrealistic. It would not be like that in the game. Caesar would have chosen someone to replace him. I'm not going to say why, because Safi hasn't played the game yet. She hasn't completed it yet. But there's definitely a 100% chance that Caesar would have picked a successor for obvious reasons. It would not have been like this. He would not have had a scroll that said, oh, actually, nobody! Ha 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 ha! That felt like The Last Jedi. And then Macaulay Culkin is discovered by this other guy, and he just kills him. And then he eats the scroll. Now, Safi did not know it was the scroll, and I actually rewound it. I rewound it because I thought, that's a totally different shot, and it looks like a completely different object. It does not look like the scroll at all.
No,
it was a lot
look like
smaller.
He's eating paper at all.
Yeah.
It looks like he's eating nuts or mints or something, and I thought, is this some kind of magic food?
I think they gave him some kind of like a piece of cheese or something so that he wouldn't have to put the piece of paper in his mouth. which is just fucking stupid. And so that completely destroyed the scene, even though the scene was already destroyed. And just coming from a filmmaker's point of view, like, you could have had him put the piece of paper in his mouth, have him crunch it around, and then you cut, and then he spits it out, and then you could cut away. You don't have to show him, eating the scroll and then swallowing it. I had a similar thing with the short film that I made, where I'm not going to spoil it because, you can go watch it on my Patreon if you want to, if you're interested. Safi watched it, and and some others too. One or two others so far have been lucky enough to see that incredible short film. A lot better than this show, that's for damn sure. I had a piece of paper in my mouth for like 5 whole minutes. Or no, it was just like 2 or 3 minutes. And then at the end I pulled it out and it was destroyed. And so I had to reshoot the entire thing because, I was doing it for real and I actually put it in my mouth. So in that case, I could not really have it in my mouth because it would have, it needed to be intact for the next shot. It needed to be shown on screen, the piece of paper. So I had to redo that, and I had to do it a different way. But in this case, I mean, there's been other things too. Other movies like
yeah, we've seen movies where they
Red Dragon.
I don't know what we've seen them put paper in their mouth.
Yeah, well, Red Dragon
to hide it or whatever.
In the Red Dragon movie, the main bad guy, he puts paintings in his mouth. He just rips up these paintings, shoves them in his mouth to like gain the strength of the paintings. It's pretty queer. And I don't know what they did here. Like, maybe it really was the scroll, but I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it.
And I'm not. I wasn't even thinking about that.
But it took you out of the show.
It was. I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't thinking about it. But I just saw the way he put it in his mouth. It didn't look like paper at all. Not one bit.
It took you out of the show. It took you out of the immersion because it was so fake and so cheaply done.
Why? It's a simple thing. Maybe it isn't so simple. But
no,
they could have stopped
easy.
And figured it out.
It's fucking easy.
Marco can figure it out.
I already figured it out. Macaulay Culkin, put the fucking paper in your mouth, you fucking scrub. So, so then Macaulay declares himself Caesar and says, let's go overtake New Vegas and make like a palace there. That was retarded. It's just
weird.
After 1 or 2 scenes with the Legion, you have this major thing happen, and then all of a sudden, like randomly out of nowhere, oh yeah, let's go to New Vegas and take it over. That's so dumb.
And I thought we were going to see, because of the way this episode was structured, or I should say not structured.
Not structured at all.
I thought they were going to show them marching into Vegas.
They did.
To the Strip.
They showed them marching to Vegas, Safi.
Well, not in but you didn't see any of the people. You know what I mean? The people who lived there. All those, whatever
they couldn't afford that yet. They have to wait to do that for season 3, which is really season 2, part 2. But, I just thought that was so horrible, like how they had the Legion on for 1 scene or 2, and now all of a sudden they had them on again. Like, the show acts like it's made. They act like it's made for people who played the games and would understand the characters and the lore a lot more. But then the show is just stupid, and the show is poorly written, poorly made. Everything about it is poor. And so right off the bat, like, they started off with like, oh God, what is this episode gonna be?
And
what
is
this show?
That was all they showed Macaulay Culkin. He was on it as briefly as he was in the previous episode.
Then they cut away. And this happened the whole episode, to the point where I thought the episode felt like a trailer. It didn't feel like an episode of TV. It didn't feel like a movie. it felt like a trailer. Could just cut. They would have like a story on for like 1 minute, cut. Story on for 1 minute, cut. It was so bad. It was such a horrible experience.
And how do you do that? I mean,
I don't
when you're
want to know.
filming a show like that, how do you do that?
You just shoot the different sequences,
But
Safi.
they're
What are you talking
they
about?
must be going. The actors must have been going nuts. I just don't. I mean, it's so disorganized.
The way that they probably do it, like the modern way, kind of like the cheaper way, is that you just shoot a bunch of scenes at once. So, like, all of the scenes with Norm and his group, the brother, just shoot all those scenes in one day or 1 week, however long they take to make this shitty show, and then go shoot at the Legion, and then go shoot all the scenes in the Vault, and then go shoot all the scenes in New Vegas. Like, you break it up like that.
But then, whose responsibility is to put that together? Then the editor?
The editor, Safi.
Oh, I think they need a new editor.
No, I think they need a new writers, new directors, new editor, pretty much new everyone. Just cancel the show. Just cancel the show. It didn't work out. It was bad in season 1, and it was worse in season 2. Let it rest, because it was really bad. And if that's what Fallout's going to be, then I just prefer to not have any Fallout at all. And
I want them to work on it. I want them to improve it.
They had a chance to improve after last season.
They made it worse.
They made it worse. They made it 100 times worse. At the very least, last season felt a lot more unified, structured. There were less things going on, and that made it better. But this is the opposite. There's too much going on, too many characters, and a lot of stupid shit, a lot of plot conveniences, and just... It almost gives you a headache just to think about, because it's so frustrating. And we haven't even talked about it yet. We've only talked about like one scene.
Okay, well, this is it now. There is no more of the Legion. You hear them talking about it. They're coming. They're going to start a war.
The Legion's coming. Oh,
but that's it. You don't ever see Macaulay Culkin again. Ever. During the whole thing. Not even in the post-credits scene. He's gone.
Okay, so let's just mark that down. Okay, story number 1. Like a tally.
Okay, yeah,
okay that's story 1. Story 2 is what?
The next one will be, remember, Maximus had a little bottle of, what's that stuff called? The blue stuff. And the Ghoul says, the Ghoul, remember, he wants to find his family. That's his wife and daughter. And Maximus is looking for Lucy, who was looking for her father.
Oh, God.
So Maximus gives him that little bottle, and in exchange, he gives him that super duper suit. NCR suit, or whatever it is.
NCR power armor.
So, we've got that's all done. So
that was last episode,
that was last
Safi.
episode. Now,
this is this episode now.
Now he's in that building where Kyle is.
You don't know what the building's called? He's not in Kyle's building. He's in Lucky 38 with Mr. House. Did you skip that scene?
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, I thought it seems like the way they show it's all the same thing. It's
no,
just different
Safi,
parts
it's
of
a completely different
See
building.
how it's like when you get those little puzzles, like at Christmas or Easter or Halloween. They're little mini puzzles, and it's like you've gotten a pack of 3, and then you give them to your child, and they get all mixed up, and then you have them put them together. That's what this is like. So okay, so the Ghoul's in there, so he's
with Mr. House.
With Mr. House, he turned them on by putting that little bottle in the machine.
This is probably one of the 2 only scenes I like the entire episode, because I just like Mr. House. He talks with the Ghoul, and I like Mr. House. That's pretty much it. There's nothing else to say. Like the Ghoul's gonna shoot the cold fusion he's threatening to shoot the cold fusion. That was pretty retarded. After he just put that in, he just brought Mr. House back to life using that, and now he's threatening to shoot it. That's just kind of retarded. And then he says, Mr. House, you gotta help me find my family. And Mr. House is like, okay, fine. Everyone works for me in the end because I'm Mr. House, and you suck.
And basically he said that. So, the whole episode really basically is the Ghoul going through that whole facility to find, and how he got there is in order to do that, he had to open a drawer and get one of those bracelets out.
It's called a Pit Boy, which you should know.
Yeah, I shouldn't, but it sounds weird. It sounds
No,
like
it
you're talking
doesn't.
about a barbecue cooker. Anyway,
No.
to me it does. So, because I think he's talking to Mr. House on this.
Mr. House is
Pit
on
Boy.
the Pit Boy, which
Right.
I will say, I really like that idea. I think that honestly, in New Vegas, he should be on your Pit Boy. Like, that should be something that he did. He never did that in New Vegas, so that's a big plot hole. In New Vegas, he is battling for control of the Hoover Dam and the Strip, all of New Vegas, and he doesn't give the courier this Pit Boy that he has his face on. That doesn't make any sense at all. That's completely bizarre. That's wrong. That's basically that shouldn't be there. That doesn't make sense.
So
If he was so concerned about what happened in New Vegas, he would have given the courier that Pit Boy. And there is no mention of the courier, by the way. We still don't know which ending they are going with from the New Vegas game. And it's like, yeah, that's bad writing. So that's another story. So Mr. House and the Ghoul. So that's story number 2.
okay, so
And it really was number 2, if you know what I mean.
So during this time now, the Ghoul has left Maximus and I call him the friendly Ghoul, and the dog, to be with all these Vegas people. And so Maximus puts on that suit because he's going to fight those big horn devil creatures that are...
You don't know what those are called still?
Oh, I wrote it down here. Dragon something or...
No, that's not what they're called.
I don't know what they're just... They're gigantic and they're
Death
like...
Claws.
Death Claws, which
Okay.
makes a lot of sense. And not just one, there's multiple.
I think there's like 10, 8 to 10, and he kills some of them pretty easily. I thought that was bad. That whole thing was bad. That whole battle thing with like the people betting on if he lived or died.
They're betting on whether Maximus is going to die, and somebody says, if they kill him, they'll come after us.
That was terrible.
I'm like, yeah?
That was like an SNL skit, and
Yeah.
I think that's been a big problem with this show, is like, there's time for comedy, and then there's time for no comedy. And that's why Marvel has really destroyed film and television, because that whole trend of just constant jokes, constant quips, that all started with Marvel. And it's really, really irritating. Like, we can't have one story where, like, there's not a joke of some kind somewhere. And I really hate that. It's very annoying.
Okay, so you have Maximus. He's in the street, and everybody else is run for their lives, and they're all holed up. A lot of them are holed up in this store, this general store, and that's where they're making these bets. So anyway, the friendly Ghoul who had that bottle cap factory with those kids, well, he took them all with him, and he decides he's going to bet on Maximus. Why they did this, I have no idea. I thought it was queer, maybe to show the importance of these things, because in the game...
The bottle caps?
Yeah. In the game,
No.
they're very important. You see that, but he says, "Well, I bet 550, whatever they are, caps on Maximus." You know the way he said it was different. And then he opens up his clothes and they don't believe it. And I kind of like, what's he talking about? Well, he took all his caps from his factory and that they had so far and opened his clothes and they went all over the floor. And we're like, wow! And that really so anyway, the dog's in there. It's protected. The dog.
Yeah, they showed the dog for 1 second.
They showed
episode.
him, I think 3 times. But
wow! Here's the dog.
Cameo.
Oh wow! I remember that character. Oh wow!
Yeah, I said this. They're very active, and they need to constantly be.
Your mom's active.
They constantly need stimulus because they're just so smart and they like to do things. They don't want to sit around. They're not like that at all. Anyway, then you see Maximus out there, and so it looks like he's got so many of these things he's fighting. He can't do them all, and.
Thaddeus helps him with one shot, and he shoots with his
toe.
left arm and his foot. Yeah. I thought that was cool, actually. I liked that.
From the top of a building.
I wish that it would have just been the entire battle, those two. I think that would have been really cool, really intense, because then Maximus loses his armor, and it shuts down. I think he ran out of
ran out of ammunition.
No, Safi. Well, also he ran out of the power core. You don't know what you're talking about.
Well, no, they
showed
it.
Okay, Safi. In the game, you have power cores that power up your suit, and he ran out of it because he couldn't get up. Okay.
Okay.
It's in the game. Be quiet. And you don't know Fallout.
Okay, that's true.
You don't know Fallout.
It just looked like he ran out of ammunition.
He ran out of that too. So he got out of it. And he picked up a wheel, a casino wheel thing, and a pool cue, and he's going to fight the Deathclaws with that. And they tried to sell this moment like this hero shot, and like, ooh, wow, isn't this inspiring? And it's like, honestly, it would be inspiring if you were mentally disabled. Because it's like, who in their right mind would fight a Deathclaw with that?
I mean, still, there wasn't just one he still had yet to fight. There were multiple.
5.
So
he would have gotten his head chopped off, but then, conveniently, for the second time now in the episode, another person saves him, and it's an NCR trooper. And then the NCR has magically appeared. They magically teleported to New Vegas for no reason at all. And they show up and kill all the Deathclaws. That was retarded. That was just straight up like nostalgia bait, keys jangling. And it was just really nonsensical and goofy. And I just can't stand the NCR. I can't stand how this show fetishizes the NCR and the Brotherhood of Steel. Like, both of those factions are horrible. They're just as bad as the Legion. They're just as bad as the Enclave. The show is also kind of shitty because in the games, you're supposed to make up your own mind which faction is good and bad. You're supposed to decide for yourself. And in the show, though, they are clearly pro-NCR, pro-Brotherhood, and anti-everything else. And it's just kind of cringeworthy because it goes against the core of what made the games good. So that's story number 3.
Right. Right.
Okay. You have anything to add, Safi?
No. So that's it. In fact, they're done with that part. They don't show... Well, no, wait. They'll show Maximus later, but none of those other people. None of them. Okay? Oh.
What was that?
I hurt my back, and it's been not good. Yesterday was like a living hell for me.
Even though I'm the one carrying this channel on my back, Safi's the one that hurt her back. So
now, I heard
how's that How's that for dramatic irony?
I lean over the couch to do shipping, and I should never do that because it always hurts my back.
No, they say that when you do deadlifts, you're supposed to bend your knees or else you'll hurt your back. So Safi is leaning forward without bending her knees, which is just a no-no.
Well, whatever. It is not good. It's not a good thing. Okay, next. All right, so now we have...
There is a straight leg deadlift, but that's different.
You want to talk about the brother?
Well, that's like a two...
The next part of Fish technically is with Lucy finding that head.
I'll just talk about Norm.
Okay.
The brother.
Let's talk about the brother. Now, this is another story.
His 2-minute story. I'll just write that down.
It's very short.
Story number 4. We're already at almost 5 stories, only 20 minutes of show. That's bad. So Norm is going to get executed along with the Asian woman, or put on trial.
No, they want to put him on. They want to put him on trial.
How can you have a trial without a judge?
I don't know, and that's what I mean. That part really pissed me off because I thought they're full of it.
So that they're going to do that. They open an elevator door, and then rad roaches come out and start killing people.
And these are flying bugs.
Okay, Safi, let me go through it now. So then Norm he actually helps one of them escape a rad roach, and then everyone else, including the Asian woman, they all run into this little room, this cramped room, and they do not let Norm in. And all the rad roaches get into the room with them, leaving Norm all by himself, and everyone dies. Everyone gets killed except for the Asian girl, conveniently.
And I thought for sure, if everybody else is dead, why isn't she? Because she...
Yeah.
Now, they did show it very quickly.
Because she's a main character, so she can't die.
But the thing is, she's not in any better position in the room than anybody else was.
In fact, she had a rad roach right on top of her, and he had to take it off. And then it's like, oh, wow, look, she's magically okay. Look, there's not even any... Like, to just show you how stupid this was, the first person that the rad roach killed, it slit the person's neck open. So how was it able to do that earlier? And then all these rad roaches are in this room, and all that happens to the Asian woman is she gets some blood on her, she gets a couple of scratches, but she's just fine basically, or she's injured, but she's fine.
She's not dead. Let's put it that way.
She's
not even unconscious.
Norm puts her on like a wheelbarrow or something, and he's dragging her around. And he has the same face that he's made the entire season, by the way. The same facial expression. And it's like, oh, there we go. That's another story. Yay.
And that was it.
Wow.
That was it. That was it. That was one thing that... This is like... We'll talk about it again.
Oh, God.
This was like... it's not a finale. It's a... interruption where we've got the Olympics coming on.
It's a mid-season finale.
We have the Super Bowl.
It's a half-season finale.
And this was only a half season.
That's what it feels like.
That's what it feels like. You remember, I'm sure there's plenty of you out there who used to watch shows and it was like this. They would show several episodes, then they'd have this break because
2 months.
The Oscars were on or whatever. This year it's the Olympics. The Winter Olympics and the Super Bowl and the Pro Bowl and then they after those were over, they resumed the second part of the season. Well, not here. That's going to be next year.
Yeah.
This was it. This was the quote finale, but it wasn't a finale.
This is a full season of TV, according to Amazon.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No. Oh, anyway,
sorry.
That was story number 4.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, now we're going to go to Lucy.
Oh.
What's Lucy doing? Remember, she's got a sundress on. A yellow sundress. And she's walking around,
No, she's in the mainframe with the head woman.
Yeah, she's in. Oh, that's right. It ended with that. That's right. And it's a head, and it's that congresswoman they showed in flashbacks, but Lucy wasn't born yet, so she doesn't know anything about that. But she was showing. She's the one who told the Ghoul guy before he was the Ghoul to give that blue stuff.
Story number 5
to the president. So now Lucy has found her head, and really, the scene is because I asked Marco, he doesn't know, so it's inexplicable.
What? What do you mean?
What's her?
This is the mainframe, Safi. They've established that quite a few times.
So what? So
she's supposed to shut it down so you cannot use those chips anymore, apparently. Or I don't know, because
I told you, you don't really know.
That's what it's supposed to be, the mainframe. But this is so shitty because I was expecting like a long 10-minute scene where like you had like a lot of dialogue and you had this real moral dilemma. What is the right decision? How should I handle this situation? And maybe there's like a back and forth and there's actual character development or something. But instead, she just walks up to it and the head says, "Kill me! Kill me! Kyle's forcing me to eat Campbell's soup!" Because she's got this like straw in her mouth or some shit. What's the fucking straw for? She can't eat. She can't do anything else either after you're done eating.
Well, it was for breathing.
I don't know. But she says, "Kill me!" And then Lucy kills her in one hit, and then they cut away. So that's another story. And Safi, you turned away from the stories.
Oh. Well, I'll copy it on the next.
Oh.
Do I have a pen? Yeah, I do. I have a pen.
Oh, I guess you can just copy that now. But, like, that was such a letdown, such a disappointment. Like, that's what this whole episode was like one disappointment after another. It was kind of like vignettes. It was kind of like, I told Safi, I've never seen a TV show like this before. The only thing I can think of is Avengers Infinity War, where they just kept it was like vignettes, cutting from thing to thing to thing to thing. And none of it was also like The Last Jedi, too. In the fact that it felt like they're constantly trying to subvert what you think would happen. Like, oh, you thought this was going to be like an intelligently written show? Oh, well, joke's on you. Because she destroys the mainframe and it literally has no effect on anything, apparently. Like, because all the stuff happens after, and a lot of it you'd think it wouldn't be able to happen because she destroyed the mainframe. Right, Safi? Like, what was the mainframe even for?
I know. That's what I'm saying. There's no... That's why I asked Marco, what did that do? Because it didn't look like it had an effect on anything.
It didn't.
So what's the deal?
And then she goes to Kyle. Kyle's like, "Oh, Lucy. Oh, I was trying to help people. I was trying to change the world." And he reveals that Mr. House wanted to turn everyone into robots, which...
So he could control them.
By the way, that was never in any of the video games. It was not in the one video game that Mr. House was in. So that's just totally false. That was never a part of the story or the lore before. Mr. House does not want to turn people into robots. He just wants to control everyone. He would be like a dictator type of person. But, I mean, he's a good dictator, honestly. Like, if I were to rank all dictators from history, I would put Mr. House at the very top of the list. So that's saying something. So I wouldn't even count Mr. House as a dictator because dictators are usually really stupid, and Mr. House is not stupid. He's very smart. So,
Okay.
But Kyle is really upset, though. And then he reveals that his plan is to put a chip in Lucy. So we all thought maybe he had already put a chip in her, which, by the way, he could have done that because he had her while she was unconscious, and he could have easily just put a chip in her neck, and then, so that doesn't make sense if that was his plan. And then she thwarts him, though, and the ghoul shows up and kills one of the henchmen, or a henchman that showed up to help Kyle, and then shoots Kyle in the rear end. And then he's like, "Here you go, Lucy. This is your decision." And he throws her a gun or something.
Some kind of little tiny gun that you can fit in the palm of your hand.
Yeah, and so then, and it really sucked because that should have been like the climax of the episode. The ghoul and Lucy reuniting, because they clearly would be a better romantic pair than her and Maximus. But no, the ghoul just leaves.
No, he's a man on a mission. He's looking for his wife and daughter.
He's going to find his stupid family that nobody cares about anymore. And, well, good luck with that. Oh, I guess that's the next thing, right, Safi? You talk about that scene, because you were confused about that, too.
Well,
So that's story number 6.
okay, well, the ghoul goes to that area, and you remember he's wearing that bracelet that has Mr. House on it. Live, I guess.
Which, oh, wait. Another thing to mention, sorry, is that, if Mr. House was in the Pit-Boy, why didn't Mr. House make any comment about Kyle or Lucy?
And not a word.
Because Mr. House and Kyle were working together or whatever. Like, Kyle said Mr. House wanted to turn everyone into robots. I wanted to do the same thing, but I wanted to give people personalities. So, like,
and Kyle, and it's funny too, Kyle
Yeah.
doesn't even know that the ghoul has that thing on his wrist,
Yeah.
and Mr. House is on it, and he's been,
Yeah.
that's like his idol.
Yeah.
So that I didn't even think about that, but it was surprising.
So if Mr. House is on his wrist, then why wouldn't he say anything? Why wouldn't there be anything said? And also,
nothing for any of them.
it just,
Kyle, Lucy,
it doesn't make
the
sense.
ghoul, Mr. House. Nobody said anything about that.
Mr. House should have said something like, "Ah, ha, ha, Hank McClane, you were always a stupid employee." He should have said something like that. Not that exact line. I'm not the writer for the show.
But he never
like,
talks bad about anybody. At least he hasn't. Not really.
Oh, but like he doesn't even comment about Kyle?
I know.
Doesn't even make a comment about him.
I know. I didn't get that either. See, that is kind of another inexplicable.
He stays silent for the whole scene so that you can just have the ghoul and Lucy interact. That's what you call plot convenience. Okay?
Too much.
Terrible.
So, anyway, the ghoul, he's, Mr. House is leading him by the wrist, I should say, so to speak. And they find that room, because remember, Kyle showed that room.
Here's a plot hole that I don't think Safi wants to talk about, but it is a good point that the writers probably wouldn't think about. If Mr. House is on the ghoul's wrist, then what does the ghoul do when he needs to go to the bathroom?
He hasn't had it long enough. He hasn't had it on
But
long
Safi,
enough.
what if he did, though?
I don't know, Marco.
Mr. House is watching
anyway.
him. Oh, but he already did, remember? Mr. House came in when he's using the bathroom in the flashback.
Right. Maybe that's
oh,
right.
They should have done that. They should have had that as a scene. That would have been great. See, guys, sorry. And this is the depressing thing, is that Safi and I, particularly me, because I know Fallout, we put a lot more thought into this show than the actual writers did. because if they put any ounce of thought, they would have had a scene like that. The ghoul has to go to the bathroom. Mr. House is on his wrist. He's like, what am I supposed to do here? Should I turn the thing off? I can't do his voice. Like, he'd be like, I've been in this situation before, remember?
He talks with a twang. Because remember, he played a cowboy.
I can't do the voices, Safi.
Well, that's okay. I'll start coughing.
Yeah, you do it.
No point.
Do it. Do the voice. You just said I can't.
I don't know what to do. Because I gotta go, and I've got this guy on my wrist. It's Mr. House. And I don't know. Somehow it's gonna work out.
And then Mr. House would be like, it's okay, old friend. Old chum. Go ahead.
Okay. So anyway, they get to the room, and there's his wife, and there's his daughter. And he says, do you want me to open them up? And somehow Mr. House is able to do that from that wrist thing. And he opens them up, and what's in there, Marco?
Nothing.
There's nothing in there in either one.
But there's a postcard for Colorado, and they had a flashback, which that would be another story number 7. These flashbacks where he said that him and his family should go to Colorado sometime. So that's just like a little side story. And so apparently they are out of the pods. Everyone predicted that. Everyone predicted that they wouldn't be there. And they are in Colorado and doing something. I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they're
at the Enclave. Maybe that's where the Enclave is.
Ugh.
Well, think about it.
Oh, God.
They have the Air Force school there.
I'm so glad I don't have to think about this for
Academy.
a year. Right, Safi?
Or they could be in New Mexico. But they said Colorado, so it's going to be Colorado. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, so he's very disappointed. And he says, okay, well, let me see. I wrote this down.
Not as disappointed as me.
I don't know if I can find it, but the ghoul says, okay, well, and he takes that wrist thing off and just leaves it there.
And Mr. House says, what about me? You're supposed to help me, because he promised to help Mr. House, and he just says fuck you, and
No,
then
here's what happens.
Mr. House says, well, the Enclave is out there, dipshit.
Mr. House says, you still have business with me.
Yeah.
And the ghoul responds, not with me.
That's
it.
bullshit. So I didn't like that at all. I thought, again, I talked about this with Safi, like, Chucky did this. The Chucky TV show, they would introduce a bunch of ideas and then just get rid of them. But the Chucky show was better because they would actually resolve them. There's no resolution in this show. It's like breadcrumbing. And it was so disappointing that the ghoul just dropped the Pip-Boy there like that. Dropped Mr. House. Because it's like, well, why do you, I mean, in normal TV shows, you introduce a storyline so that you can build upon it, across 5 to 10 to 20 episodes. But in a modern TV show, they will introduce a storyline in one episode and then resolve it the very next one. And not resolve it, but like, they'll get rid of it. And in this case, they did that with Mr. House and the Ghoul. That was very disappointing.
Okay, now we got another story, and it's very short and sweet.
Are you going to write down the 9 stories now, or 8?
There's 7.
8 now.
I guess that was 8.
No, this next one's 8.
Okay, this next one. I've already written number 8. Well, there's Lucy and Maximus, but no, I want to talk about Eye Patch Girl. And the Eye Patch Girl is holed up in her room.
Oh no.
And she opens the suitcase.
And they reveal, by the way, in another flashback, they revealed that she is Hank's wife, so she is also the mother of Lucy. Which doesn't make sense because
Not at all.
Lucy's not white, so I don't know what that is. You know, she's like...
Well, she doesn't look
I don't
like
know what
her
she
at all.
is. She's Latina?
No,
Maybe?
She's British. That's all I know.
But what else, though?
I don't know.
She's not white.
I don't even know what her real name is.
Her name is Ella, but she's not white.
No,
So,
I don't know about that.
That doesn't make any sense at all.
Okay, I don't know.
But
It
she's her
doesn't
mom. The eye patch woman is her mom.
Yeah. So anyway, what does Eye Patch Woman do? They're all banging on her door, and her quote husband. So this is called bigamy.
Her new husband.
Her new husband, which they didn't. Get
This is
married.
called bigamy.
They didn't get married, by the way. They're all banging on her door, and she gets up and she opens that case, and she has another arm thing on. Puts it on.
Called a Pit Boy, Safi. I've already told you that 3 times. And anyway, she calls the Enclave and tells them to initiate Phase 2, which, to be honest, I just didn't care at all. And then you saw the Enclave, and you saw these scientists and these robot the robot things that fly around. I just didn't care about that at all. It felt like another jangling of the keys. Like, okay, Fallout fans, here's something from the games. Here, look, it's the Enclave. Jingle, jingle, jingle. The Enclave. Look at that. Don't focus on the stupid stories that suck. Here's the Enclave. Remember the Enclave from the games? Remember the games that this show is based on? That's really smart.
Okay, so anyway, that's it though. They don't show anything else.
Ugh.
That's it. Okay, next.
Now we go to the next one.
So Lucy's walking around.
Story
with her,
number 9.
with her sundress on, and there's Maximus.
No, Safi, what about the dad?
Oh,
Okay,
well,
so
we
there's
got
this...
all that. Okay, that's the next story.
That's another thing.
Well, it's just so. Yeah, this one is.
The dad... I actually really like this scene because I like the acting. It just sucks that these actors are in this terribly written show. But she tells the dad she's going to put a chip in the dad and make him the dad that she always wanted him to be after he tells her his real plan, which I said all along, he probably has some sort of real plan that he wants to do. And he admits that the vaults are not the experiment,
It's
the surface.
surface.
Which it's like, ooh, they should have played the X-Files theme. Because that's what it felt like. It's like, oh, what the fuck does that mean? And then the dad, he has a chip in his neck now, and he presses a button of his own, and somehow, again, the mainframe is down, but somehow he is brainwashed, and he is now a good dad, or he's a good person. And I thought that whole scene was really well done, but it was terrible writing, and it really didn't have any emotional effect on me, because I just knew that, oh, well, okay, well, that's over, so what's the next scene? What's the next story? Is Safi's gonna... Safi has interesting ways of contributing to reviews sometimes.
Okay,
so then
well,
Maximus shows up.
Maximus and Lucy.
And they tried to treat it like, oh my god, look, it's the romantic pairing of a century.
To me, it was like they're best friends.
They're like friends in an elementary school play. Because right off the bat, this is a woke show. Because
Marco, don't
he
say
showed
that. S-H-I-T.
Because it's woke. Because he shows up
It's
and
just
he's
crappy.
not allowed to kiss her. They only get to hug. And then later on, they're in the Lucky 38 together in Mr. House's penthouse, and they are only allowed to hold hands. And that is like the Gen Z woke slop agenda of like, oh, Gen Z thinks that sex and nudity and kissing is uncomfortable, so we can't show any of that.
Marco's
You know,
making all that
they
up.
can't no, it's true. It's true. And
Okay,
so they
whatever.
only hold hands. So like, what is this? Like, what are they, like in elementary school? Like, they haven't seen each other in like a year or two, and then they're not going to kiss at all? That's fucking retarded. But they're not a good couple. They don't have any chemistry at all.
No, they're friends. I mean, you can just tell.
But the
they're
show's
very good
saying
friends.
that's not
know.
what the show's saying.
I know. The thing is, that's another. It's a contradiction. It's just more.
It's woke.
I'm not going to put up with that.
It's woke.
Don't do that.
It's
don't do
woke,
that.
Safi.
Don't do that. So anyway, that's 11. And so Lucy says, I feel really bad because there's going to be a war.
Between the Legion and the NCR, conveniently.
And it's all my fault.
Yeah.
And because her father wanted to control them all somehow. How? When they're not implanted.
Put chips in all of them?
Yeah, but how?
I don't know.
I mean, how? You have to get them first. How would he do that? You know, it's just ridiculous.
Just sneak up to each one of them and put a chip in them like,
You're talking
okay,
about an army.
boom!
A battalion, whatever.
Kyle, Italian.
Battalion.
I thought you just said
No,
Italian.
B-A.
Whoa!
Jesus Christ.
Whoa! But
Okay.
I thought if Kyle really wants to do that, he must have his sneak stat all the way up to 100, because there's no way in hell that you could go through a Legion camp. Anyone who's played the games, who has a brain, anyone who just has a brain, there's no way that you could sneak up to all the Legionnaires as they're sleeping and standing around like NPCs, because they are NPCs, and put a chip in all their necks.
Well,
What about the dogs? What about the Legion's dogs? They have dogs too.
I didn't see any dogs, but the thing is,
Well, in the game they have them.
that one dog, it's fine. It's still alive, and as healthy and beautiful as ever. So that's really, I think that's about it.
Really?
Except for that post-credit scene, and that
Are
showed.
you sure there's nothing left?
No,
Are you sure?
they showed the Legion.
I mean, because
No.
there was always another story in the whole episode.
Not
so.
that they showed.
Are you sure?
We talked about the brother, and that was for 2 seconds.
Ugh.
He comes out of that building, and he's crating that girl in a wheelbarrow, which it looks like a wheelbarrow, and Mark already said that.
Well, let's here. So the post credit scene is number 12, and then if you count the other vault, that's 13. You know, the other vault that they didn't even show in the finale. So that's 13 stories. And that's not even counting the sub-stories. So if you have 13 stories with like 100 characters, that's way too much. That's not good. That's not good storytelling. So the post-credits is the gross tomboy thing comes on camera, and she brings a plan to, I think his name is Quintus or Quintilus or something.
He was the guy that Maximus threatened, but he didn't want to kill him.
Yeah,
so he just locked him up in a cupboard.
He's Maximus's leader, and he says Quintus wanted. He's talking about himself in the third person. Quintus wanted to be a peacemaker and unite all the Brotherhood chapters, but now Quintus is going to be Quintus the Destroyer. And then he opens up the plans, and it's Liberty Prime, and it's like, wow, it's just another like jingling of the keys, as if we give a shit about this stupid Brotherhood of Steel storyline. Like, I don't give a fuck. I just don't fucking care. And that's coming from a huge Fallout fan. I know that there's a lot of other people who can turn their brain off and pretend like that the show is good because it's Fallout. And oh look, there's Brotherhood of Steel. There's Mr. House. There's New Vegas. but I don't want to turn my brain off. This is a bad show, bad stories, bad characters, and I give this finale an F because it's F for finale.
Okay, well,
What do you
my
have to
grade
say?
is incomplete. And because, if you get, it's almost like getting an F, because if you don't turn it in, you're going to get one.
Yeah.
Or you're going to get a lower grade.
Remember, Safi, when
Yes,
the English teacher who, I'll just tell this story real quick. I did this assignment, and I vividly remember doing it, taking it to school, and, I was always the first one in her classroom, this bitch teacher. She was horrible. She was this big, fat, stupid bitch, and I was the first one in that classroom every single morning, and I turned my assignment in. I put it right in the homework thing, in the slot on the whatever, and she sent Safi an email and said Marco didn't turn in his assignment, and she tried to give me an F because she lost my assignment after I turned it in and I was the first one to put the very first thing, just magically got lost. And so that was that this is like the woman who is teaching honors English, honors and AP English. She can't even handle like keeping track of students' papers.
And this happened to other kids, that their homeworks would get lost.
But she was trying to say, like, oh, that I didn't do it, that it was incomplete. And it's like, really? I don't think so.
Well, we didn't have the cameras on the phones back then, but boy, it would have been helpful.
Well, how?
You would have taken a picture.
Why would
I
take a picture of my
homework?
homework?
Of you handing it in and putting it in there, and
why?
And you would have showed it to her. And
I'd
she would have seen.
But I'd have to do that for every time, though.
Well, I guess that's what you would have to do with somebody like that who's got a problem. Anyway, that all that kind of stuff makes me mad.
I was thinking about incomplete.
But it is.
That's what it was.
Because this is supposed to be a finale. It was not a finale at all. And for anybody, there's nothing final about any of those stories. Nothing. Because they're getting ready to have a war. So that the way they structured it, they could have structured it better to make it like that, and said, stay tuned for next season, and maybe start the war somehow, start a little bit of it, and then they would pick it up the next season. But everything, they have these, how many? 13 stories, and they didn't even show one of them.
Yeah.
And then they have, and they did not resolve, not even a cliffhanger.
No.
The brother never found Lucy.
No cliffhanger.
Or the father.
I mean, no resolutions for anything.
Just carting this woman out of the building onto the surface in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And so, to me, that's almost like, that's unfinished business. But the way they presented it, it's not like before. I watched Grimm. They had there were at least 2 seasons that had, they would end the season with a cliffhanger. And there was all this horrible stuff going, monsters chasing everybody, and they're trying to round them up. And I mean, it's a disaster situation. Or Nick, the Grimm, was running around and they didn't know where he was, or he was in a plane and it crashes, and they go, we'll see you, I'm sorry, but this is the end. We'll see you next season where we'll find out what happens. So they'll say some jokey type thing, but still, that was a season, or a season finale. Not this. This was the mid-season, where normally in any other lifetime previously, they would have picked us up after these, the Olympics.
After like a couple of months.
Yeah. Or at least a month.
Yeah.
And then they would pick it up, and then they would resolve some of this stuff. And there are too many stories.
I think that it's funny because I was saying that it was heading for a mid-season finale for like weeks and weeks.
Yeah, he already knew that because there's just too many stories to finish.
Yeah.
Too many to complete. And, it's true that I have not played this whole game. So, it's not as much of a disappointment in terms of that about not following the game. This thing with Mr. House and setting the wrist thing down and all that, and the stuff with Hank and going by him, and he doesn't even know that Hank doesn't even know he's there, and he's practically in love with Mr. House.
Yeah.
And that's poor. That's poorly done.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether I watch the game or not. There's probably
Played the game.
Played the game. There's probably a lot of other people watching the show that haven't played the game either.
Yeah.
And that's what was appealing to me because I thought this is really nice because last time anyway that I could watch this and some of the stuff that I'd seen just a little bit of that it was played out into a story. I thought that was really cool. But they have really screwed up this season.
And see, the thing is that I'm not necessarily disappointed because it's hard to be disappointed now because there's no expectations anymore for anything to be any good. Everything is terrible. Movies are terrible. TV shows are terrible, especially when they're adapting something. And it all started with Star Wars. It all started with woke Star Wars.
Marco, stop saying that.
Because they set a precedent that even in a series as important and like is something that is as American as Star Wars, we're going to do whatever we want with it to push our agendas. We're going to destroy characters, destroy story, just so that we can have girl power, feminism, and all that trash. And after that, all these other adaptations started coming, and they destroyed everything about these franchises. And I know you could say, well, what about the bad movies of like the 2000s and the 90s and the 80s, like the Mortal Kombat 2, Mortal Kombat Annihilation? But I'll tell you this, those movies had a lot more respect for what they were adapting. There were some exceptions, like with X-Men, where they would only let Wolverine wear a tank top and jeans. They would not let him wear the Wolverine costume until like 2024 or something. There's exceptions like that.
The yellow and blue thing?
Yeah. They wouldn't let him wear that because they didn't think it was realistic. But it is a consistent thing now that anything that is an adaptation just destroys what it adapts. And so it's not even a disappointment anymore because you would have had to be expecting that Fallout Season 2 was going to be good. And if you did that, I would have to question your sanity because you would probably go insane right now. You would be in an asylum being like, oh my god, I just want Fallout to be good. Be rocking back and forth, be in a straitjacket,
There's more important things to think about, but
Fallout
was a
wasn't
disappointment
good.
that they could do that.
The Legion!
Some of the stuff, like I said, that when Macaulay Culkin's eating a scroll,
Yeah.
it's like this thing where, okay, this is my number. You have to chew it up and swallow it so nobody sees it. They have this kind of little thing in the story. It's a mystery or whatever, spy thing, and you can and he has it in his hand. It's not paper at all. It looks like peanut halves or something. That's just a simple thing, and that thing. Well, I've already talked about it twice. With the Ghoul is wearing Mr. House on his wrist.
Yeah.
And they go by Lucy and her father practically had a crush on Mr. House. Because remember when he showed up at that place in that suit, he took it off, and one of the first things he did says, "I'm here. I'm ready to help you."
I've been trying to follow after your work, Mr. House.
And
I found some of your old clothes, and I've been wearing your old clothes and just pretending that I'm like you. You know, like he's kind of like that.
And they've showed flashbacks where, he's just yesterday, in this episode.
Oh, Safi, we forgot one.
Well, that flashback.
We forgot one. That's number
15.
14.
14.
There's a who even cares? It just that Cooper gets arrested by the Enclave, and Mr. House warns him. Who cares?
Well, he said, "I didn't do this. Somebody else did."
Yeah.
And it was the president.
It's the Enclave. Oh no.
So anyway, you have all these mistakes though that with the story. I mean, they're like errors. They're not even. It's kind of like these Epstein files in a way, because where they release things that have been redacted aren't supposed to be redacted. Things that were supposed to be redacted.
Safi would like to.
Redacted.
Safi would like to apologize because the only reason that she was on Epstein Island is because,
for God's sake, don't do that.
She brought him dirt cake. She makes dirt cake.
Marco spelled S-H-I-T. So anyway. I don't understand. These people have the money, then they have the staff to do better than what they do.
Yeah, they get paid.
They get paid.
They get paid.
We're living on pennies comparatively.
Well, we're not getting paid for this review yet. So like we're not getting paid, but like I'm literally coming up with better ideas and literally just explaining in explicit, excruciating detail. Just these very simple, like if they had like a writer's room, a Fallout writer's room, these would be things that they would talk about, like adults. Like why doesn't Mr. House say hi to Hank? Why does Mr. House just ignore that? He doesn't even. It's like he's not even there, which he's not, because it's an actor. It's fake. It's a television show, but like, that's not good. That's bad.
So anyway, there's nothing else to say about it. I gave it an incomplete. I can't even give it a grade, and that's really almost giving it like a really bad grade. So, like an F. So, and if they're either Lucy and Maximus have a relationship, which I've seen a number of Hallmark movies. I know what a relationship looks
Safi,
like.
in Hallmark movies, they kiss on the lips.
That's right.
They tongue kiss.
They don't even do that. They don't do anything.
No.
They act like good friends.
They hold hands. Fine. They hold hands then like it's grade school.
Then make them be best friends. Don't make them a couple.
Even in grade school.
Don't pretend like they're a couple. If they're not, that's fine. They're best friends. Make it like that. Don't pretend and show us something else.
Even in grade school, the old drama teacher would say, "Okay, little Susie, you're going to have to let little Richie kiss you on the lips. Just one little kiss for like a school play." Even that would happen in an elementary school play. But on an adult TV show where they show violence all over the place,
drug use,
just people getting like references to rape, all sorts of things, they can't even handle showing two adults kissing. How fucking gay is that?
So why don't they just be friends? That's fine.
Why not make the show for kids then? It's a kid's show?
Well,
is this a kid's show?
It doesn't matter. There's so much wrong. There's so many things that they
but that's really
not
weird.
Doing well with.
It's
weird.
It
doesn't matter.
But that's really weird.
Just think about the situation here. It's been months since they've seen each other.
It's been a year.
And they
or two.
And they're in very precarious situations. I mean, think of just personally what each of them have gone through.
And Maximus just battled death claws.
Yeah, he just did that.
After all that, it's just, oh, let's hug and let's hold hands. Like, that's fucking gay.
Like, it's just too much for me. And anyway, so that's it. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up.
It's so immature.
Become one of our subscribers, and tell us what you thought about the episode. Do you agree? And what do you have any suggestions to these people to tell them what to do? Do you think that, like, for next season, what do you think they should do? I mean, what is the answer?
Cancel it.
No, I don't think they should do that. What is the answer? Because all those people want to be.
I have a good idea. I have a good idea. Want to hear it?
Not really.
Oh, what a biatch! It's a great idea.
All these people
it's a great idea.
So I don't want them to lose
no,
their jobs.
I have a great idea. Lucy wakes up, and it turns out that all of season 2 is a dream.
Oh yeah, okay. They do that.
And so then
the Dallas thing.
So then they can undo all the damage that they've done, and they can redo it, and it'll be a better season 2. Yay! I would literally give the show an A+ if they did that, because it would be like, okay, let's just pretend like that last season didn't happen. You know, this is the real season 2. Get ready, it's gonna be really good.
I mean, their only
hopefully.
Excuse, which it's not going to excuse everything, is that this is the apocalypse. This is the result of the apocalypse, and
that's not an excuse.
There's no certainty.
No.
And that's why it really pissed me off about this Mr. House and this enclave and all that.
But they
think that they can blow up the world and put things on the back of people's necks and have everything turn out exactly the way they think it's going to turn out.
But there was...
It isn't going to do that.
But
they have a
Safi.
destroyed land with nothing growing and no water. The water's tainted.
But Safi, there is certainty, because
What's the certainty?
We saw in this entire finale, anytime someone got into a life or death situation, someone else came to save them. Every single time.
But that's not reality. That's Hollywood.
I know.
The thing is, though, and,
I'm not the writer.
They have monsters, mutated beings that pose a threat to the people who are already threatened by the water and the lack of food, and it's just a disaster. And it just so irritates me, because it's like this thing that's in the White House. Now it thinks it can control everything. You can't do that.
It's just like you, Safi.
That's not reality. It's unrealistic. So this thing with they think they're it just irritates me to no end.
Well, Safi, here's a good question. Why do you think you can control the show into being a good show?
I can't. We can't control anything. We can make...
There's no certainty.
We can make all the suggestions we want. And, look, next season, they're going to have to go back to that vault. Well, they just never going to show those people again.
Let's just
Cecily Tyson.
No, that was all a dream.
That was all a dream.
Forget it. So, and also, please join our Patreon. Go check out our Patreon, because that's where the real magic happens. That's where all the bonus stuff is. All of the full hour-long movie reviews that I do, Safi will be a part of too. And my short film, tons of other crap. And yeah, that's it.
Okay, goodbye, everybody.
Bye.